You know when you open your email and you just see spam? We all know that feeling. But what if I told you that word for all that digital junk, it actually has this really surprising, kind of funny origin story. It started way before computers with something totally analog.
That's exactly right. Today, we're going to trace that word, spam, step by step.
Hmm.
From, well, a specific kind of canned food, believe it or not, then through this really famous comedy sketch, all the way to your inbox. And our mission really is just to unpack that whole journey so it clicks, especially if you've never heard this connection before.
That's a fascinating story. So to really get it, we need to rewind, like way back
Yeah.
before the internet was even a thing. Spam, the word itself originally was just a brand name for canned meat.
Mm-hmm. Produced by Hormel Foods, started back in 1937.
1937.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the name, most people think it's probably short for spiced ham.
Spiced ham. Okay, makes sense.
And this stuff, this canned meat, it got huge, particularly in the UK and the US during World War II. Main reasons were, it was pretty cheap, lasted forever on the shelf, basically. And it was easy to ship out to soldiers. So it ended up being, well, kind of everywhere.
Everywhere. Right.
Yeah.
So it wasn't necessarily beloved, just present
Mm,
all the time.
pretty much. Ubiquitous is a good word for it. And that very ubiquity, that feeling of it being everywhere, that actually inspired a really famous comedy group.
Oh, okay. I think I know where this is going. Monty Python.
Exactly. Fast forward to the 1970s, the British comedy legends, Monty Python, they did this sketch, now absolutely iconic. It's set in this little cafe, like a greasy spoon type place, and pretty much every single item on the menu involves spam.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one. It's just relentless, isn't it?
That's the entire joke, the sheer repetition. It's just the word spam hammered home again and again and again, dozens of times. It gets to the point where it's genuinely annoying, which is, the comedy.
Right, like the customer trying to order breakfast.
Exactly. Customer says, "Can I have eggs and bacon?" And the server's like, "Whoa, we've got spam, 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 eggs, bacon, and spam." It's just unavoidable, completely absurd, and pretty funny because of it.
Okay, so we've got the ubiquitous meat, then the inescapable joke about repetition. How does that jump into, like, emails and the internet?
Well, it's that core idea, isn't it? Unwanted repetition. That's the bridge. So you get into the 80s and 90s, the internet starts taking off, email becomes a big thing, and suddenly people are dealing with this new problem, getting the same messages dumped on them over and over, often, ads or maybe scams, just loads of unsolicited, annoying stuff flooding their inboxes.
And somebody just thought, hey, this is like that Monty Python sketch.
Pretty much the parallel was just too good, just like in the sketch where spam was everywhere on the menu, impossible to avoid. These unwanted emails felt like they were everywhere in your inbox, flooding everything. So people, especially in those early online communities, they started calling it spam. The term just fit perfectly.
And I guess because the Monty Python sketch was so famous already.
Exactly. People knew the reference. It already had that connotation of something endless, unwanted, and frankly irritating.
It perfectly captured that feeling, didn't it? Something you don't want, repeated constantly, hard to escape.
Precisely. It just encapsulated this new digital nuisance so well. And that's basically why spam became the go-to universal word for all that junk email and unwanted messaging we still deal with today.
Wow. So when you piece it all together,
Hmm.
from a can of spiced ham through this, like, legendary comedy routine to the stuff cluttering up our digital lives, it really is a pretty wild journey for one little word. Connects history, comedy, tech.
It really does. And it's a great example of how language works,
Mm.
how it grabs onto these cultural moments like a comedy sketch to help us make sense of and name totally new things happening in the world.
Abs-
So maybe a final thought for you listening. Think about other words we use all the time, especially tech words. Could there be other common digital terms out there that have similarly surprising, maybe funny analog backstories just waiting to be uncovered? Another piece of non-digital history hiding in plain sight.